Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Bald Guy Presents. Okay, we're going to wrap up Genesis chapter 1 and 2, then get into nitty gritty of chapter 3, which is the fall of man. Boom! Here we go. We're starting to get into the stuff here. All right, so there's one thing we need to kind of discuss before we kind of delve into this conclusion of everything we talked about, and this is part 1 of that whole conclusion thing. Now, creation. We were all made by two people, Adam and Eve, folks. That's right. So we're all under one race, despite what the media, despite what the government, despite what everybody else tries to tell you, okay? If you think that way, you're wrong. We're all one race, all right? So let's clear that up. That is true, folks, okay? People have different ways of, just from where they live is what they look like. But we all have blood, we all have skin. That's the way we are. Okay. Now, I hope that kind of clears that thing up, because that's been bugging me, folks, especially in today's world. All right. Now, with that out of the way, now what have we learned so far? Interesting stuff. Now, this is the way, according to scripture and according to the way things went, this is the way I see it. God creates the world, okay? And he creates the heaven and earth at that same time. He creates all the angels. He creates Satan, and Satan's up there, which is Lucifer. Okay, let's get that name straight. Okay. And Lucifer is the head angel in charge of God's glory. Okay, that's what he's supposed to do, is protect it. But then he becomes jealous. Okay, now what holds the theory is basically around that day 6, after man and woman are created and everything's created, he becomes jealous and decides he wants to take the throne because he can do things better. Do things better than God. Really? Anyway, so he convinces other angels to follow him. Well, God ain't having none of that, so Satan is cast to earth, and all the angels with him. All right, and then later we'll find out the result of that. All right, so everything is created, everything's looking good. Then we delve into chapter 2, where we talk about Adam and Eve and his instructions. And this is, Bible's a little unclear on this part, but the way I see it is that we had our heavenly bodies at that time. Adam and Eve had the heavenly bodies before the fall. Okay? What we have now is what we call an earthly body. The ones that die, ones that get sick, and all this stuff. Well, still had, all of our stuff in the ribs, because I took the rib to create Eve. Okay? But there was a different form of body that was perfect in every way. Okay? That's what we're going to go back to. It's kind of hard to wrap the head around a little bit, but that's the way I kind of see it, because a lot of people think that after the fall that God, which we'll discuss later, okay, I'm not going to get into detail on it, but I do believe that we had more of the heavenly body at that point of creation, where everything was perfect, and we learned about the tree of good and evil, why that was there, okay? And we also learned that about our free will, about what we have to do. We also learned about marriage, about women and men's roles in relationship. Okay, we learned that that it's okay to be single, and it's okay to be married, and marriage is one man, one woman, plain, simple. That is the law, and that is the way it is. And we also learned about sin itself a little bit, about what sin was. Because if you go against God, you sin. Period. Flat out. And that's something we don't want to do. So, later we're going to find out all about the repercussions of sin. We're going to get into some really good stuff. So, I hope you enjoyed this kind of conclusion, of wrap up of how things kind of went, and the way everything, this story as it's kind of unfolding it's pretty amazing. And it's pretty amazing how deep it can be delved into. Now, my next video, we're going to start in chapter 3, which kind of continues this story. Now, remember how Moses wrote this. Not a lot of details, but he focused in on the really important stuff. So, basically what we're going to do is we're kind of bringing us back to that time. Okay? Because that's the way I am focusing this whole story. Okay? So, we're going to continue our journey then. I hope you'll stay with. It's been fun so far, and it gets even more interesting as we go on. So, have a good day, folks. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of the week.